I don't know why I called it that. I'm not a big fan. I prefer dogs, obviously. Dogs are better people than people, aren't they? They're amazing dogs. They're our best friends. They guard us. They guide us. There's medical detection dogs that can smell if you've got, like, AIDS. I'm not a doctor, but their noses are like 1,000 times more sensitive than ours. So they sort of go, "Poor, you're well HIV. Fuck," you know. And you go, "You can smell AIDS on someone." Yeah. Then why didn't you smell it on the bloke I brought home last night then, you fucking idiot? They did the first 3 billion years by themselves, evolution and all that. And then we got involved and we did a bit of selective breeding, you know, getting them how we wanted them to do jobs for us, you know, a bit more of that, a bit stronger, faster, whatever. And they're great at the jobs they're bred to do, and they love the job they're bred to do because they're genetically hardwired to love that behaviour anyway. Although the Rhodesian Ridgeback was bred to hunt lions, and I can't help but think that was a little bit of a shock to it when it found out. So we did all the breeding, all the different pedigrees, all thousands, all the miles around, a big passing out parade. There's a bloke in a square with a white coat and a clipboard, and he goes, "Right, dogs." And they all go, what? Who wants to know what jobs they've got? We all do. Right. Okay, Labradors. Yeah? Do you like carefully bringing back dead ducks? Yeah. That's your job. Amazing. That is amazing. That is my favourite job. That is my favourite job. Jack Russells. Yeah. Do you like shooting down rabbit holes after... Yeah. That's your job. Fucking hell. Best day ever. Best day ever. Miniature poodles. Yeah. Do you like being carried around by elderly homosexuals? Yeah. That's your job. That's your job. Ridgebacks. Yo. You're hunting lions. What? You're hunting lions. Fuck off. Yeah, you are. No, we're not. Lions? We get fucking mashed. Why can't the Rottweilers hunt lions? They're shaking babies. Good boy. Good boy. You shake that baby if you want. Good boy. Cheers. So yeah, this is my first new stand-up show. What's this? There's a number here. All right, call that, right? Are you giving me guitar lessons? Yeah. I don't fucking want any. Fine, it's not for you then. Just walk away. Don't worry about it. I should say one thing in Twitter's defence. I mean, I use it as a marketing tool and for fun like everyone else, right? But one great thing about Twitter, for me personally, I'm very into sort of anti-animal cruelty. And years ago, it would take ages to get 100,000 signatures on a petition standing outside Tesco's or something, right? And that's the magic number because then it gets heard, in Parliament. And I've been part of many campaigns through Twitter that we've got 100,000 signatures in days, maybe, and the law's been changed. So thank you to anyone who's ever retweeted anything to do with animal cruelty because it really makes a difference. So thank you. But even something as like clear and distinct as animal cruelty, right? You think no one's going to argue with that, are they? Yes, they will, right? They just want to be heard, right? I'll tweet something about a bull being tortured in a bull ring, right, for entertainment, and I say ban bullfighting. Someone always says, "What about the kids in Syria?" What? Well, I'm not giving you a choice. You can do both. I'm not saying throw that kid back in the hole. There's a bull here, right? And there's one thing that I didn't want in my head, but it exists, so we got to deal with it now that I found out through Twitter. There's a thing called the Yulin Dog Meat Festival in China every year, and it's horrendous. And we send people with money to buy the dogs to bring them back, but it's a drop in the ocean. They eat tens of thousands over this weekend, and I tweet the details why it's so horrendous in a petition. People don't really read it. It's a knee-jerk. People say, "Racist." I go, "What?" They go, well, we eat pigs and cows in the West. Yeah, we do. I don't, but yeah, I used to, right? Sure. And you're right, yeah. A pig is worth as much as a dog. A cow is worth as much as a dog. It's not about the species. It's what they do to these poor dogs. And what they do is they torture the dogs first because they think it makes the meat taste better. They beat them. They blowtorch them. They even skin them alive. And I saw this picture on Twitter of this opening of this ceremony. These two guys in this Chinese square, and they're skinning this dog alive, and it's screaming, and they're laughing. I thought, that's the worst thing I've ever seen. Can I tweet that? I thought, yeah, I've got to. So I tweeted the picture with a petition, and I just said, one beautiful creature and two ugly cunts skinning it alive, right? And it took off, loads of retweets, and it made the press. I got one tweet back from a woman that said, is that language necessary? I should have left it, right? But I was incensed. I said, you're more offended by a word than by an animal being tortured to death. She said, I just hate the C word. I definitely should have left it. I sent back, people who hate the C word would hear it a lot less if they didn't go around acting like such cunts. But I'm optimistic. I am. I think people care about the planet deep down. I think just that most people on the planet don't realise that most people on the planet are destroying the planet. Most people don't realise that in my lifetime, we've wiped out 70% of all animal populations. And what's left en masse on the earth of animals is 36% human, 60% farm animals just to feed humans, and 4% wild now. People don't realise that we have to tear down entire rainforests, the lungs of the earth, just to grow grain, to feed these cows, to feed us. We steal grain from third world countries because they want hard currency. They can't even feed their own people. We take their grain, feed our cattle. Meat eaters. If you eat meat every day, if you gave up one day a week, we'd feed another 100 million people. But I think people care. It's out of sight, out of mind. Think of the animal that most people know, their dog. They love their dog. They wouldn't let anyone hurt their dog. And a dog is a cow, is a sheep, is a deer. People love their dog so much, they won't even watch a fictional thing where a dog gets hurt. And I get that. There's a website, it's a real website. It's called doesthedogdie.com, right? And it was set up because people would watch a film or a program with a dog in it, and something would happen to the dog, and they'd turn it off. It would ruin it for them. It would ruin their day, right? So this website was set up. You could go to it, you could put in any film or TV show and ask, does a dog die? And someone would answer you, no, or whatever. And it's become a thing for anyone's phobias. Anything you don't want to see in a film, you just look up the film and they answer your question, right? So I looked up one film on here, Schindler's List. Absolutely real. Schindler's List, doesthedogdie.com, right? First question, does a dog die? No. Does a cat die? No. Are any animals abused? Someone answers, there is a chicken that's handled roughly, but otherwise unharmed. Now, I love animals more than anyone I know, but if I was Jewish, I'd be slightly offended by this avenue of questioning. Imagine that in real life. Imagine someone says, oh, yeah, my grandparents were murdered by the Nazis. You go, oh, what happened? Oh, they were dragged from their house and sent to the gas chamber. Oh, was a chicken hurt? What? But as I say, it's become, you can ask any question about anything. Someone says, is there child abuse? Is teeth damaged? Is there a hanging? Does someone struggle to breathe? Yeah. Well, yeah, yes. Someone says, does someone fall downstairs? Who's scared of slapstick? It's like... Anyway, so this website was founded in 2010, so it's run about 13 years, right? And the later questions start reflecting the times we live in now, and they get more and more fragile and narcissistic. These questions were asked this year. Check it out. Schindler's List, right? Someone says, are there any fat jokes? Would that make this worse? Well, imagine the real thing. Imagine I'm in a concentration camp, right? I'm naked, everyone around me is naked. We've got a commandant herding us towards a gas chamber, and he goes, move it, fatty, right? And I go, rude. No, that has ruined the whole experience, if I'm honest. Someone asks, is there hate speech? Yeah, there is. Suck it up, Buttercup. Are there any man in a dress jokes? Very few jokes. If you come to this film for a giggle, you're going to be very disappointed. But this one takes the biscuit for me. Remember, this is a movie set in the 1940s about arguably the worst atrocity in civilized human history. Check this out. Is someone misgendered? This is quite sweet. Is there any anti-Semitism? Yeah. This is pretty much the mother load. Right? Forget Kanye. This is off the fucking charts. Don't do that when you're talking about this. Fuck's sake. I was doing the graph. I was doing like that. This is off the charts. That's... Wouldn't things have been different if that was Hitler's salute? The whole thing would have been... He goes like, it's Hitler. Hiya. This is interesting. Does it have a sad ending? Right? Someone says yes, and then someone else says no. And I thought about it. No, but then I remembered, if you've seen the film, if you remember, when the story sort of ends, Spielberg then tacks on a real bit of footage where he gets real life descendants of people murdered in the Holocaust, and he films them coming into a Jewish cemetery, and they each leave a stone on the grave to represent their family members that were murdered, and it builds up and it's very moving. And so I think I get the ambiguity. Does it have a sad ending? Yes, in the sense that 6 million Jews pointlessly lost their life, but no, in the sense there was still enough left over to build a little rockery. So I asked one question myself on this. Is James Corden in it? I did look at one other film briefly, Titanic, right? And it's got all the same sort of questions. And the one where it goes, are any animals harmed? Someone answers, there are no explicit scenes of animals being harmed, but Rose did have a goldfish, which probably didn't make it. I think the goldfish in the bowl on the sideboard when the boat hits the iceberg, and he's all like that, right? And people are running around going, we're going in the water. And he's all smug then, and he's going, don't worry about it. Oh no, not water. Then he gets in the sea and he goes, it's very salty, isn't it? It's very salty. I'll leave you with a true story. It's still on the theme of does the dog die? When I was 7 years old, my mum took me to the cinema to see a film called Old Yeller. Beautiful film, yeah, made in the late 50s and sort of set in the Wild West on this homestead. And it's about a kid who adopts this little junkyard dog, and he calls him Old Yeller, and they grow up together. And it's a buddy movie. It's a love story between this kid and his dog. And eventually, when the dog's big and, you know, he protects this kid in the wild, he fights a cougar and a bear and a wolf or whatever. But towards the end of the film, the kid's about 13, maybe. It takes a dark turn. I remember the kid sort of looking at Old Yeller, who's locked in the barn, and the mother's suspicious, right? And she goes, is it Old Yeller all right? Yeah, he's fine. But the kid knows that he's been bitten, right? And soon, Old Yeller starts foaming at the mouth and, getting aggressive. And the mother turns up with a gun, and the kid goes, no. And she goes, you know we've got to do it, boy. He goes, yeah, but he's my dog. I'll do it. And he shoots his own dog. And I was like in floods for like a year, right? Anyway, fast forward, right, a few years ago, I was on tour, I was on a train, and I get a text from Jane, and she says, I'm finally watching Old Yeller. And I sent back, enjoy, right? I didn't think, right? 20 minutes later, I get a text. Nothing happens to that dog, does it? I couldn't believe my fucking luck. I I thought she knew, or... So I sent back, no, of course not. 1 hour later, I get a text, you cunt. And I flew a few weeks after 9/11, and after 9/11, the world went a little bit crazy. You know, understandably, the rules changed, and there was a lot of anger and fear and confusion and finger pointing. And I'd always consider myself quite a rational, liberal sort of guy, and I tried to remain that way after 9/11, and even in in the pub with mates, I'd be the ones going, no, you can't say that, no, that's a generalisation, that's ridiculous, no, that's unfair, you can't tar everyone with the same brush, no, it's still the safest form of transport, it's 16 million to 1 the chance of trying to be rational. That's in a pub. When I'm flying, it's more like, check him again, can we check him again? He's getting on this, but do you mind if I check him? Can I just... And after 9/11, with all the checks, I still tried to remain sort of rational and philosophical. I was thinking, right, it's harder now than it ever was to get a bomb on the plane. This is, it's the restrictions are tight, it's safer now. And then I found out that a terrorist doesn't even have to get on the plane now with a bomb. They found heat-seeking missiles, and they could just park up in some sort of lay-by and take the plane out within the first 10 minutes of takeoff. So now I'd be on the plane going, right, we're out of range, who's got the bomb, right? And as I say, I flew a couple of weeks after 9/11, an internal flight, and we're up in the air. I'd done the thing, right, we're out of range, right, okay, right. Surely a new rule book went round. Don't mention 9/11 when you're handing out the coffee. Just, do you know what I mean, right? 2, don't say severe cutbacks. Severe cutbacks. If someone says that, I don't think of magazines anymore. I think of a bloke in an aircraft hangar earlier that week going, do we really need all these rivets? It's just... What terrible bedside manner. I mean, I take first-class flights everywhere. I know you wouldn't have it any other way. I'd do it for you, really. Some of the flights I take cost £10,000, okay? And for £10,000 in a disaster, I expect the front end of my plane that I'm in to gently break off and float down to a desert island. It doesn't. I'll die with the rest of you fucking losers. That's not fair, is it? I know you tried to save me, but you couldn't. We'd just be on the news. I'd probably be the only one get name-checked on the news. You'd be 230 others, but which is some consolation. But anyway, so, okay. Once I was flying back from New York, okay, 9:25, a Saturday night, JFK to London Heathrow. BA, first class. Okay, now, this is my point. It's fear that threatens rational thought, I think, okay? I'm there. Now, the whole week leading up to that flight, I don't know if you remember it, or it's happened more than once, I don't know, it was a couple of years ago, on every news channel in America, there was a rolling ticker tape that said, America on red alert. We've had intel, there's going to be another 9/11 in a major city, probably New York or LA, okay, this weekend. Do not fly unless you absolutely had to, right? I had to, I was filming. And, right, so, I'm the only one in the first class lounge, okay? And I still tried to remain rational. I was thinking, no, it's safer now. Everyone's looking for a terrorist today. They'll leave it till Monday, right? And then it happened. The thing that threatened my rational thought. I had a bit of a mini breakdown. Into the first class lounge, about 30 minutes before boarding, came this guy. I don't know whether he was North African or Middle Eastern or Asian, but he had all the gear, right? I was suddenly engaging staff in sort of banal conversation, going, flight on time? They're going, yeah. What's the weather like in London? Like they were going to go, it's a bit cloudy, but there he is, right? Didn't happen. So I'm left there, right? And I'm looking over at him, and I'm thinking of all the running up to it and the week, all the news and everything. But now there's a fight between good and evil, between rational and irrational, okay? This one goes, ooh, that's a suicide bomber. Oh, don't be stupid. Of course it isn't. It is. How do you know? That's what they look like. What? Beard. Don't be stupid, right? Then he makes a phone call, and I couldn't understand what he was saying, but he sounded a bit angry, okay? This one goes, oh, we made a phone call, right? This one, no, you just made a phone call. Yeah, but not in foreign. Right? So shut up, right? He's been checked, like the rest of us, he's been checked. Did they check the beard? Yeah, they checked the beard. Yeah, they checked the beard, right? And then I'm looking at him, must have been absent-minded with all this going on in my head, and he catches me looking, and he does this. He goes, oh, he knows, right? This one goes, no, he knows why you're looking at him. He's had that sort of prejudice for months now. Stop looking at him. Yeah, the beard. Yeah, right? But this one starts winning. The fear starts beating all the rational thought in the world. And he was going, no, but it could be. Well, yeah, it could be. Probably not. Well, no. The stats are up today. Yeah, but still, it won't happen. Don't say it won't happen to us. People of 9/11 said it wouldn't happen to them. Yeah, but all the tests. Yeah, well, they find new ways of getting through our detection. Then we have to up again. Yeah, you're right. And suddenly I thought, oh my God, this is it. This is it. And that wave of nausea, and you suddenly realise, oh my God, I'm witnessing this. This one goes, okay, right, let's report him. This one goes, no. Why? In case someone thinks we're racist. No, fuck that. Let's report him and be a wrong, embarrassed, live racist, just in case, right? And I go, no, so I don't. And so now I think he is a suicide bomber, and I think I'm going to get on the plane and die, but I'm not going to do anything about it. And I'm nearly in tears. And all this happens in a few moments. And I look over, and he's joined by his wife, who's got all the gear, and his two little girls, okay? And I suddenly go, oh, of course he's not a fucking suicide bomber. If you're off to see 72 virgins, you don't take the wife and kids along. Right? That's fine, that's fine, it's fine. They won't cancel me for that. I mean, they've been trying to cancel me for about 15 years, and they've always failed. And often the people trying to cancel me have been other comedians writing for the posh papers, doing that thing they always say, he's punching down. Well, comedy should punch up. We only punch up. We punch up. Their idea of punching up, they have a go at Boris Johnson. How the fuck is that punching up? You know, the cunt is learning disabled. He's like this fucking waterlogged Gary Busey, fucking albino Eggman thing. He can't string a sentence together. Have you heard him talk? He's like, he's a fucking moron. I punch up. I have a go at people like, I don't know, Stephen Hawking, right? Yes, the greatest brain that's ever lived. He can take it, and he wouldn't even have minded when he was alive because he's part robot, isn't he? I think he's basically a talking chair, so you can say what you want. And he was on Epstein's Island, apparently, so fuck him. I don't. What was he doing there? Why do I want to go? Why? Why do I? You're not just there doing fuck. I would go. What? I know pedos who'd kill for a ticket to that, and he's just taking up a space. It's probably DEI or something, and they go, we need one. Like, I'll go, what are you doing here, Steve? He go, I'm thinking weird shit. Fuck off. That is probably a hate crime. That is. It's a big buzzword at the moment, isn't it? Hate crime. Whatever happens, someone always goes, oh, was it a hate crime? Why? Makes it so much worse. Does it? Why? If I was just walking home tonight and someone randomly jumped me, beat me up, mugged me, stabbed me, threw acid in my face, I wake up in intensive care, beep, beep, beep. I open my eyes through the bandages. There's a policeman. He goes, Miss Gervais? I go, yeah. He goes, we just want to let you know it wasn't a hate crime. I go, oh, thank God for that. That's pretty hateful, isn't it? But no, a hate crime is something that's based on your race, disability, sexuality. So a guy with a gun, he wants to kill someone at random. He sees a crowd. He goes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, bang, kills someone dead. He goes to court. The judge goes, why did you kill that person? He goes, no reason. The judge goes, so you're not a bigot? He goes, oh no. The judge goes, 10 years. Some other guy's got a gun. He goes,
I fucking hate dwarves. Right? He sees a little dwarf, he takes aim, bang, kills the dwarf dead, right? He goes to court, the judge goes, why did you kill that dwarf? He goes, because I hate the little cunts, right? Judge goes, you're a bigot, 20 years. Now, he shouldn't get more for shooting a dwarf. If anything, it's a harder shot, isn't it? If I was that judge, I'd go, what, you shot a dwarf at 100 metres, yeah? Fucking props, that is 5 years in the army, get him in the army. I feel bad about that joke because I was reading about the tough time dwarves have had through history. Like, in medieval times, they used to torture them and kill them. They used to put them in barrels with spikes and roll them down the hill for a laugh, right? And then in Victorian times, they'd stick them in the circus and make them do dangerous fucking things. And then as late as the 1980s, right, I remember colleges used to have events like dwarf throwing, where they were like darts on a thing, or dwarf bowling. And eventually someone said, what the fuck are we doing? Can we stop making dwarves do shit for our entertainment? And it stopped. And now it's back. Now they're in the Special Olympics. Now they've got, they're going, let's race them. And, let's throw them in the water and see if they can swim. They can. So, it needs a bit of work, that one, doesn't it? I don't know. People don't realise how much goes into one of these tours. My last tour, I did 60 new material nights, then I did like 25 work in progress shows, then I did an 85-day arena tour around the world, honing it all the time. One critic sat at his kitchen table, said, lazy. He called me immature and vulgar. Four-eyed cunt. I'm at that age now where everything annoys me. I say this once a day. I go, why don't things just fucking work? Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, the remote control for the TV, working fine. Go back to it. What's happened in the last fucking 10 seconds? What? The phone signal where I live in Hampstead is shit. I walk around the mansion going, can you hear me now? And if you make a phone call in the lovely cobbled streets of Hampstead, you can have 5 bars, having a chat, lovely. Well, you go one step in the wrong direction. Do you know why the phone signal's so shit in Hampstead? Because everyone's posh there. And no one wants one of those pylons in their garden, because they look shit and give you cancer. But I've said to the council, let's find a blind person who's already got cancer. Put it in their garden. Don't even fucking tell them. Don't even... But never mind inanimate objects, people annoy me the most. Oh, I say this once a day as well. I go, there's always someone who fucking ruins it. Do you know? Like, we were on a flight to San Francisco a while ago, me and Jane, right? We took off, right? First class, seatbelt signs, ding, drinks are served, lovely. Then this woman, about 2 rows back, she gets out her laptop, she starts banging out something really important. She's wearing fucking bangles. They're like smashing it's driving me... It sounded like fucking Morris dancing, right? It was driving me... But I know it's not illegal, you know. I can't go over bangle police, so I just have to suffer in silence and hope we crash. That is how I get over things now. If someone's really annoying me, I just sort of stare at them and I just imagine us both dead one day. And it's sort of... Like here I was thinking, oh, imagine the pilot going, oh, we're going down, the plane was going down, right, we're going to die. And I look over it and she's going, ah, and I go, and then the plane just smashes into a mountain and we're all fucking burnt. But I live 1 second long enough just to look over and see her totally fucked. Whatever gets you through, you know? So we got to San Francisco and we went on a little day trip. We went to this place called Sausalito, this lovely little harbour town. We're walking around sightseeing, but about 11 a.m, because of the jet lag, we were starving. We thought, oh, we need lunch. So we found this restaurant that was open at 11 a.m, empty, of course, which is my idea of a perfect restaurant, empty, right? We sat by the window, we were looking out over the bay. There was a sea lion bobbing round, a pelican landed. The waiter brings our food. Then suddenly, in all that peace and perfection, out of the kitchen doors comes a busboy, and he just stands in this empty restaurant and he goes I looked at him, I looked at Jane. Jane didn't even look up. She just went, nothing we can do. Like that. So I'm all alone, right? And the sweat starts. I just get a sweat, right? I go, okay, he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. Sure enough, I bang my fork against the plate and I just look at him like that. And Jane goes, he doesn't know why you're staring at him. I go, I want him to know. I want him to go, you okay? I go, not really. You keep doing that, right? Jane goes, for heaven's sake, he's a busboy. He's at work. Let's just eat and go. So meal ruined, right? And I wasn't allowed to do anything, right? So this is how I got through the last 10 minutes of that meal. It's absolutely true, right? I'm eating. Every time I went, cunt! That is what you get. That is what you get. I did want this show to be more highbrow than this. Joking aside, I think this is my most honest and confessional show so far. Not in a Edinburgh Fringe type way. I mean, oh, my parents died, so I went all autistic. None of that shit, right? My parents did die, but I'm pretty sure I'm not autistic, because once someone gave me a Rubik's Cube and I put it straight in the fucking bin. I think that is the test. No, it's called Mortality, but it's a positive show, I think, and I want to tell you some of the things I've learned and what it's like to be me at this age, and because I'm getting old now. See that silence for the first year. Up until this year, I go, I'm getting old. People go, you're not old. Now they go, go on. Like that. It's like, in fact, they make it worse. They say things like, oh, yeah, but the good thing about getting old is you don't care what people think about you. Well, you should care a bit, because caring what people think about you is what stops you walking around with shit down your trousers. Right? Oh, look at Grandad. Look, he doesn't care what people think about him. No, he's wanking at a wedding. He doesn't. No. But as I say, it's a positive show, because it's not all doom and gloom, getting older. There's good and bad to getting old. There really is. There's good and bad to getting old. For example, yes, there's more chance now of me having a heart attack, having a stroke, getting cancer, but much less chance now of me ever being raped in prison. Yeah. So when I was a young man, I thought, fuck, I could never go to jail. Not with this cute ass, right? But now, I'd be pretty confident I'd be left alone. You know, like, I'd go down the corridor, my first day, with a little towel, just whistle along, right? They'd all come to the bars and go, ooh. You know what I mean? Like, I'd spend as much time as I wanted in the shower. No one's even looking, not a sniff, nothing. The big danger for me these days, bending over in a prison shower, would be my back going, right? And just sort of crumpling to the floor and have to be helped to my bunk by two big gay rapists. And they just put me down naked and leave. And I go, lads, before you go, I've done my shouldering. Can you little tug? Right? And they go, nah. I go, what do you mean, no? You're literally gay rapists. They go, we're not monsters. I'd also be a bit more confident these days going to jail because I've got a bit of cash. I reckon I could buy my way out of danger. Do you know what I mean? Like the first day I'd go, right, who's in charge? Who's Mr. Big? And they go, Chopper Harris, D-Wing. Right? I go, so I'll go and see Chopper. And I go, right. I said, right, I'm in for a year. There's £1 million waiting for you if you make sure no one beats me up, steals my food, no one so much as fingers me. I've never said that before. I've never... Chopper would be like, there's no foreplay in jail, mate. For 7 years, if you don't count the Golden Globes. Which you shouldn't. The Golden Globes, very different. Oh, God, different vibe. 200 million people watching around the world. And it's live, you know, big thrill. But with that many people watching, there comes a bit of stick. Everyone's different. Everyone's a blogger. Everyone goes, I was offended. Oh. Why? He said an horrible thing. We said loads of horrible things. Yeah, but that was a thing that I care about. And that's the thing about offence, isn't it? It's about feelings, and feelings are personal. I don't care about the so-called backlash, you know, comedian in hot water. Ooh, you know. But my girlfriend Jane, she does worry a bit, and she reads things. Oh, why are they? What have you said? Why? I go,
don't worry about it. They're not coming to the house. Fuck them. So I wind her up. I pretend I'm going to say much worse things than I ever would. You know? Think of that. I have to make up worse jokes than I actually... just to scare my girlfriend. So when I'm doing the Golden Globes, we go out about a week before. It's in LA. We fly out, right? And I'm writing jokes as the ceremony approaches. And, you know, they release sort of more presenters. And I take my pick. I go, oh, yeah, I've got a good intro for them. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Mel Gibson. Yeah, I'll introduce him. Yes. And about 3 days before this last one, right, just to wind Jane up, I said, oh, I've got a good intro. She went, what? I said, Bill Cosby would make our next presenter sleep on the couch. Please welcome Helen Mirren. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. She went, you're not going to do it? I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Next day, I got her again. I said, is this too much then? I said, not even Bill Cosby carries enough tranquilizer to bring down this next magnificent beast. Please welcome Melissa McCarthy. I didn't do it. I'd never tell a joke like that. It's horrible. I was just doing it to annoy Jane. I'd never even think of that. So don't... Even on the day, on the way to the red carpet, we're in the limo, just to wind her up, I said, oh, I'm going to start off with a funny little one-liner, just an old-fashioned joke. She went, oh, what? I said, what did the deaf, dumb and blind orphan get for Christmas? And Jane went, I don't know. I said, cancer. I didn't do it. So you're getting offended at a joke that doesn't exist. So I'd never say that in public. So to anyone who mattered. Anyway, so don't... As it was, I didn't have to worry about offending anyone because it just happens, so...
I've been looking into infant mortality rates recently. For research. It's not a fucking fetish. Like, a child born today in the UK has a percentage chance of survival of 99.8%, which is incredible. I thought, is that just the mollycoddled West? And I was putting in third world countries. And even in Africa, it's like 96.5%. In the wilds of Africa, where everything wants to fucking eat a newborn baby, babies are vulnerable enough, aren't they? In Africa, a baby can be born in a mud hut. There's a lion outside. It's covered in blood because they can't wash it. They've got no water. Oh, and it's already got AIDS. Now, by the time that joke goes on Netflix, it'll be nuanced. There'll be an underlying satirical point, I'll claim. But until then, all I've got is, baby's got AIDS. I know that it's funny. I just have to work out why. Leave it with me. Leave it with me. Also, by the time that goes on Netflix, I'd have been playing arenas around the world. It'll be hitting hard, people will be laughing. So if you are an African woman and you just had a baby in Africa and the doctor goes, oh, I'm sorry, your baby's got AIDS. You go, oh my God, you're there. You know, our little baby's got... You're there with your husband and you go, oh, our baby's got AIDS, Jeff. Jeff. I know, Tracy, I'm gutted too, darling. Our baby's got AIDS. Oh, should we watch some comedy to cheer us up? Yeah. What, Netflix? Yeah. What, Ricky Gervais? Duh. Yeah. And they're sad that their baby's got AIDS, but they're sort of laughing along. Armageddon, And it gets to that bit, baby's got AIDS. And she goes, oh my God, Jeff, what? Why are they all laughing at us and our baby with AIDS? And Jeff goes, well, they're not laughing at us per se. She goes, well, they are. They've named us and everything. They're literally laughing at us in this bit. And Jeff goes, yeah, but we're a fictional couple with a fictional baby with AIDS. Anyone offended by that is a fucking moron. And then he goes, and at least he didn't do the accent. So... And then she goes, yeah, but only because Jane begged him not to. I think we get our sense of humour from our parents, whether we realise it or not, particularly working class kids, particularly from working class mums, because They're busy. They're doing everything. They're keeping men in check. They're bringing up kids. They're going to work. They're saving the world. They haven't got time. They have to frighten their kids into behaving well. They have to go to dark places to shock them into not fucking dying. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if I was little and my mum made my tea, and it wasn't my favourite, it was boiled potatoes instead of chips every day, and I went, I don't like them, my mum would go straight to, of course you do. There's children your age in Africa and they're starving to death. Right? And I go, Jesus, all right. You know what I mean? The true story, I was 7 years old, right? And I'd been playing in the park and I came running in and my mum went, Ricky, come here, sit down. There must have been a local pedo incident, right? And my mum went, never go in the toilets in the park again. And I went, why? She knew she couldn't explain paedophilia to a 7-year-old, right? But this is what she came up with. She said, because there's a man going round and he's cutting little boys' willies off. I was like, oh, what? That's a fucking thing, is it? I didn't sleep for a week. And it worked. I never went in those fucking toilets again. But she knew instinctively. If she'd have gone, Ricky, come in, sit down. What's the matter? Never go in the toilets again. Why not? There's a paedophile. What's a paedophile? Oh, he's a man who gives you sweets and puppies. Bring it on, you know what I mean? At 7 years old, I'd wank off anyone for a puppy. I'd be like that, wouldn't it? Be like that. Gonna get a puppy here. I'm getting a puppy. I'm getting a puppy. Gonna get a puppy, eh? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, I cannot do it left-handed at all. Fucking hell, come on. Have you been drinking? Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. Fucking hell. Oh. I've started, so I'll finish. Oh, fuck me. Oh, what sort of puppy is it? A what? A Labrador? Throw in a kitten, I'll give you a blowjob. I'll go over like that. Kitten, puppy, come. Oh, I miss the local pedo. Don't you? There was always one, wasn't there? Outside the school, you'd be with your mum and she'd go, look, there's a paedophile. Because he had the uniform of the pedo. You know what I mean? You could spot old bloke, bald on top, long down the sides, like that. And I'll go, that's a dirty pedo. Say hello, 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 like that. Dirty, look, that's what a fucking pedo looks like. Dirty fucking paedophile, right? That's what they look. If he touches you, we'll burn his house down. It was a good system. You know what I mean? But then Michael Jackson comes along and he breaks the mould, doesn't he? Because he's not an ugly bloke outside the school. I'm not saying Michael Jackson definitely was a paedophile. No one knows, only Michael and all those people he paid off. All I'm saying is that kids loved Michael. Kids loved Michael just to look at him. Like a little Disney cartoon, wasn't he? And then his voice, hello, you know, that... oh, Michael Jackson go up to any kid he wanted. Probably not like that, didn't he? Probably like that. That's another thing. Kids would go, there's Michael Jackson, but he's going away from us. He wasn't. He was going towards them. But people don't care, because he's so good. Right? He's so good. He's so popular as well. I think if he'd have lived to stand trial, he'd have beaten the rap, because everyone loves him. And he'd be so vulnerable in court as well, wouldn't he? He'd be there like that. And the judge would go, Michael, did you fiddle all those kids? And he'd go, hee hee. Judge would go, case to get out of here, you scam. Go on. Cheers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope no one was offended. No, I really do, because that's never the point. I've always wanted people to know they can laugh at bad things without being bad people. And I think it's my upbringing. As I say, I grew up in poverty with nothing, right? But the point was to pay your way, then have a laugh. That was the men. The women carried on working, obviously. But it was my older brother, Bob, who was about 11 years older than me, and it was him who I first saw
making these dark jokes right in the bad situation. While the bad things were happening, he was making jokes about it and people were laughing. And I realised, oh, he's healing them. That's what comedy's for. That's what humour's for. It gets us over bad stuff, right? Typical Bob story. He once spent an hour in the pound shop in Hayling Island just asking the cashier how much everything was. Just to see if he could break this poor man's will. Right? And Bob was the first person I saw answer back to authority, and the first authority you come across are your parents, right? And he'd have an argument, he'd get in trouble, he'd get sent to bed, right? But I thought, no, he won the argument though, right? And he teased my mum, and so my mum was a typical working class woman, I think, in that, as I say, we lived in a shitty area, right? And most of the houses had like a bit of mud and a stolen bike and fence posts missing. She mended the fence, she turfed the garden herself, she painted the step, because she thought, if it looked respectable, we'd be respectable. So it was about reputation, I guess. And so Bob would send her postcards that just read, is that paedophile postman still reading your mail? And she'd take it and she'd go in and she'd be horrified and she'd call Bob and go, Bob, he saw it this time, you've got to stop doing that. Even at her funeral, my mum died first and my dad carried on for a year or so, just drinking beer in the garden, and he went, right? But for my mum's funeral, we sort of split up into different duties. I went and did sort of catering and flowers, and Bob went to see the local vicar. That was a mistake, right? We'd never been to church. He didn't know us, we didn't know him. So he just said to Bob, tell me about your mum so I can say a few words. And Bob saw that as an opportunity, right? So Bob, with a straight face, said to him, well, she was a keen racist. And the vicar went, oh, I can't say that. Bob went, okay, but she liked gardening, right? And he was trying to get something past the vicar, so the vicar would say something and make us laugh in church. He didn't warn us, right? And he did get something by the vicar. So we're called Ricky, Robert, Bob, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Larry. Now, Larry is the oldest. He's in his 70s, born in the war, right? I've always thought he was the sensible one, okay? I suppose firstborn, weight of the world on his shoulders. In fact, my mum told me that when he was a teenager, he got a job and he gave her the money to bring up the rest of us to help out, right? So he's a stand-up guy, Larry, right? So Bob gives the vicar the wrong name. Didn't warn us. We're all in church, right? Start of the funeral, we're all there, right? Packed out, right? The coffin comes down, guided by the vicar, the coffin gets down. The vicar goes to his pulpit, all confident with his little notes, right? And he goes, Eva leaves behind 4 loving children, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Barry. And we stop like that, right? Bob sort of goes, everyone realised what's that, we were all fucking laughing. We see Larry go, right? And the church is like, every time we thought of it, we'd see Larry go, right. And then it would just start giggling, just fits and fucking giggles, right? And then Larry eventually sort of started doing this, right? And the vicar's thinking, what have I said, right? And he put in a few little things that the vicar would know about that he said would set us off again, just things that were just lies or just slightly wrong. And my niece and nephew started crying, and I'd come prepared, right, with a little packet of those tissues. I was giving them those, and they were taking one and handing it on. But before the funeral, I'd taken all the tissues out, written on them, carefully folded them back and put them in. So they were pulling out a tissue and it said, snivelling fucking bitch, right? And they're sort of laughing, right? So it was like a madhouse, right? Everything the vicar said or did, right? I moved to Hampstead. Oh my God, there's no crime. I saw a knife once in Hampstead. It was a palette knife. Just a bloke, just painting, oil painting, in the middle of the street, broad daylight. No one was gobbing on it or calling him Bender. It was weird, right? So I know my life has changed drastically, but it wasn't always like that. And the reason I'm telling you this, as a famous person, you sort of read about yourself, you know, gossip and, you know, Twitter and everything. And one thing kept cropping up, even when I was preparing for this tour, people saying, oh, he's out of touch. He's so famous, he's rich, he's mega rich. I am. I could have this place burned down for a laugh. No, but they say things like, oh, he's an observational comedian. How can he say things that relate to ordinary scum? And I say, don't call them scum, right? But even the papers, they try and get around to it. I do interviews and they'll always be able to say, oh, do you always fly first class? I go, no, often private. Right? And the number of times I've answered this question, right? They say, do you know how much a pint of milk is? It was meant to make you look out of touch, and I don't know, but that's irrelevant, right? Next time a journalist asks me that, I'm going to say, I don't know, mate, but here's £1,000. Run and get me one, will you? Is that enough? Is that enough? Yeah. Another question that I always get, particularly with the posh papers, the Sundays, they're doing a profile piece, and they're still trying to alienate you and make you look different, right? And they always say things like, no, you don't have children. I say, no. I say, why don't you have children? Which is a really odd question to ask someone, why don't you have children? As opposed to asking people, why do you have children, right? Let's ask the fat lady in the leggings why she's had 8, shall we? Oh, 9, that one just fell out. That one didn't even touch the sides or disturb a cigarette. That one just, boom. No, don't claim for that. But I am spoiled, and there's a difference. I'm not out of touch. I didn't have any money till I was 40. I've got the same family and friends, same values, but I am spoiled because opportunity and privilege spoils you. And it doesn't take much, right? I'll give you an example. Right, first time I started making it in America, the next time we flew, we were met at the plane by a bloke in a suit and a thing, and he just walked us past the queue like that and straight out the other side, right? And the first time it happens, you're sort of horrified. You're going, oh my God, everyone's looking at me and pretending to be late. Oh God, a baseball cap. Oh God. Next time we flew, I went, where's that bloke who walks us through? I'm not fucking queuing, right? It's quick, right? And whenever I fly to the States, I've got a place there, but I'm always working, right? So someone else is paying, right? So I go first class, BA. Oh, it doesn't get any better. Even if I was paying my own way, I'd still go first class, but Jane would probably be in coach. Right? It's 10 grand a pop. She's, yeah, that new Planet of the Apes movie's on. She'd love that. She'd be happy, right? But when someone else is paying, I say, Jane, get up here with me, right? Front 2 seats. Oh, they board us early. We're on the plane about 15 minutes before anyone else. Oh my God. They bring around these snacks, these like warmed, caramelized nuts in a bowl, right? Champagne. It's great. It's like a little day off for me. No phone or anything. It's like a little holiday flying to the States, right? I could do without the safety video. That's always a bit of a downer, right? And totally pointless. If you go into the side of a mountain at 500 miles an hour, the brace position does fuck all. Imagine if that worked, right? You're going down, right? The flames smash, you go, I'll try it, right? You do that, ball of flames, you wake up, everyone's dead, except you go, fucking hell, that's amazing. That is... And they always use that voice, don't they, on the safety? They always use that voice, that calming, hypnotic voice. Like, nothing bad will happen. They're saying horrendous things, but they're trying to make you think, nothing bad will happen, because I'm using this voice, so don't worry about it, right? They say things like, in the event of the plane landing on water, it smashes the fuck to bits, right? They don't say that. They say, in the event of the plane landing on water, your life jacket is equipped with a whistle. A fucking whistle. So the plane hits the water, smashes to bits, everyone's dead except you by a miracle. You're bobbing around in the Atlantic Ocean, 4 degrees that water is, right? You've got about 15 minutes before hypothermia sets in, right? Or eaten by a shark, or you drown, and you're hoping they've dispatched air sea rescue, and you're going, oh my God, I'm bruised, I'm broken, I'm gonna die, I don't want to die, what happened now, I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. I mean, Air Sea Rescue. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a helicopter. Of course you haven't, right? But they're fucking loud, right? It's like having your head in a washing machine. You have to wear earplugs and then ear defenders. Your teeth rattle. It's like that. So you're over the Atlantic Ocean at night, you go... Never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. If you crash, you die, right? But apart from that, it's brilliant. Right, so, I was flying. I think the world's going to get harder and harder to understand as I get older and more bewildered. A new dogma arises in the name of progress. Now, dogma is never progressive, however new and trendy, but I think soon I'll be outnumbered. And, like, it was only this year that I ordered my first item off Amazon. All the way through the pandemic, Jane's like, bang, things are arriving, we need this, bang, it's here. Right? And I was going, oh, and she goes, it's easy. I go, I never liked real shopping either. Hated real shopping, particularly clothes shopping. I hated clothes shopping when I was young and thin. I really hate it now I'm fat and old, right? Once, a shop assistant thought I had my inside leg and my waist measurement the wrong way round. I could see her thinking, do you have an orangutan, sir? No, it's for me, you cheeky... Yeah, I never like real shopping, but I don't trust the internet either. And Jamie was going, just put in your credit card. I don't want to have my credit card details. She went, everyone's got your credit card details, just put the number in. I went, what one? She went, the long one. She went, oh, fuck me, give it here. There, you're on. Order something. So I thought, oh, I don't want anything. Oh, tracksuit bottoms. You can't have too many. I wear mine till the bollocks fall out, right? So I put in men's tracksuit bottoms, black, zip pockets, about 38. Oh, fuck me, they look all right. Size chart. I go, well, they'll be a bit long, but they'll be a bit tight. I thought, $9.99. I thought, oh, fuck it, who cares, right? So I ordered them. They came the next day. I opened them up. They were shit. Now, I don't know what sweatshop they were made in or what little 8-year-old Chinese kid made them, but he should be fucking punished because they are. Oh. And I was looking at where to fucking complain to get him fired, right? And I found out that these kids only get $2 a day in these fucking places, right? But what happened to pride in your work? Do you know what I mean? And I can tell, some of you are thinking, oh yeah, but he didn't think Ricky Gervais would order them. Well no, but maybe you should be told there's a chance that Ricky Gervais might order them. His owner should sit him down, right? And say, if Ricky Gervais orders these and complains, I'm going to rape your mummy again. What, is that too much? Sorry. Leave it with me. Leave it with me. You'll realise this is great satire when I'm dead. I should do political stuff now I'm woke, but I don't like it when a comedian just spouts his own political views and it relies on the audience agreeing with him to get a round of applause. I think that loses something comedically. I want everyone to like my jokes, whatever your political persuasion. A joke shouldn't have a political wing, you know. I'm political in my private life, like everyone, you know. Like, I'm sometimes incensed by the inequalities in our society. We're in the 7th richest economy in the world, right? And there's homelessness. There's 250,000 homeless people in Britain. Now, I wish there were no homeless people, because they're fucking horrible. You know, oh yeah, right next to the fucking cash point, you cheeky cunt. It is a serious problem, and I hope none of you ever find yourself homeless, but if you do, my advice is heroin. Cheers you right up, apparently. I've got one of those mates. My mate said this to me in all seriousness. He said, yeah. He said, but the thing about heroin, Rick, he said, some of the greatest albums of all time were created on heroin, weren't they? I went, yeah, but they were created by some of the greatest artists of all time, weren't they? You're a plasterer. Right? If I were to give you heroin, you wouldn't come up with Dark Side of the Moon, would you? You'd fall asleep watching the telly and burn the fucking house down.